Hello, everybody. So, listen, today we're talking about intermittent fasting, magic, or just mindful eating. This is one of my most top items requested around, is this working? This is what I've done in the past. Should I do it? Oh, I heard my friend did it. It's going to help me lose weight. But I want you to know the real. So let's talk about what intermittent fasting is, where people do well, maybe where they start to struggle, and what this can really look like for you. And is it the right choice for you? So, first, let's talk about what intermittent fasting is. First of all, it is just a generic term to discuss multiple types of eating styles that have restrictive eating windows. That's all it is. The term intermittent fasting is a generic term used to discuss several different restricted eating window eating styles. So let's talk about what they are. So the first one, this is the one that many of you, it's the most common, is time restricted feeding. And this is the one that many of you think about when you say we're going to do intermittent fasting. You think about, oh, okay, I'm going to eat, from 12 to 8, or I'm going to eat from 11 to 7. All right. This one is the most common. And all we're trying to do is shorten the window of time that you're going to eat your food in. This doesn't mean that all of a sudden you're going to all of a sudden we're going to just eat 1,000 calories when you're supposed to have 1,600. All it means is that you are breaking down the amount of time it's going to take you to actually eat the food. So you're going to shrink the time that you're going to do it. So if you normally would have eaten your first meal a day at 7 a.m., now you're probably not going to start until 11 or 12, and then you're going to wrap up your meals around 7 or 8. And then you will not eat anything after that. But there are a couple different versions of that, right? So the first one, 14-10. This one, I don't think this one is that challenging. It's actually not even in the original intermittent fasting, time restricted feeding protocol, but it's one that most people do. It's 14 hours of no food, and then your eating window is 10. Now, the one that is the most common and is the longest eating window in the actual intermittent fasting protocol is that 16-8. That is 16 hours of no eating or fasting and 8 hours of eating. So that would be, hey, my first meal that I break the fast with, maybe at 12 o'clock, and I stop eating at 8. Or as I said, maybe it's at 11 and you start eating at 7. Now, it doesn't mean that people are not drinking water or having some type of maybe a little bit of juice, but you will not eat a full meal until the fasting period is over. Okay. Now the next time frame is the 20 to 4. That one these are getting aggressive. It's 20 hours of no food and then 4 hours of an eating window. And then the next one is 22 and 2. 22 hours of no food and your eating window is only 2 hours long. Now, I'm sure and I pray and I hope that you all are seeing those last two. Ooh, that might not be for you. That may be for someone who is extremely experienced in that, or someone who there is a reason why they need their eating window to be that small. Okay. So here's the next type of intermittent fasting. And many of you have probably never really heard of this one. But I remember some years back, a lot of people were doing this. They just didn't have a name for it. But it's called alternate day fasting. And what this one is when the majority of the week, so you're going to kind of rotate on and off. So let's say on Monday, you're going to eat a full meal, normal meals that you would eat. Let's say you're somebody who needs 1,700 calories based on, your goals, or 1,800 calories based on your life and your goals. On Monday, you're going to eat 1,800 calories. But on Tuesday, you're going to eat between 0 and 25% of those calories. So if it's those 1,800 calories, it means that you probably are going to eat maybe 600 calories or 550 that day, or none. So you will not go past 550 calories or so, and it could be even under. It typically means that on the alternate or the fasting day, you may have one meal, or sometimes people only do liquids. So I'm going to repeat it. alternate day. Monday, full day worth of meals. Tuesday, you're almost eating nothing. You might have one meal or you may do liquids the entire day, but you will not pass 25% of your normal calories. All right. So again, this is a pretty strict form of intermittent fasting. I honestly think that for a lot of people, this may be extremely difficult to do. And especially if you are somebody who exercises, if you are somebody who strength trains, some of that type of erratic, I'm going to eat and then no food might be really difficult. But I'm going to save that for the end on maybe my recommendations and the challenges that I see. All right, so the last one is called periodic or whole day fasting. Listen, this is super aggressive, but what it means is you can have consecutive days of fasting. One of the most common is what they call a 5-2. In that 5-2, it means that you're going to eat normally for 5 days, and then you're going to have 2 days of fasting. Now, that fasting could mean that you drink water all day for 2 days. It could mean for some people that it's just maybe some type of juicing or just liquids for 2 days straight. But the point is that you 5 days normal, 2 days fasting, or some people may do a 4-3. That's even more aggressive. Okay. So now you may be wondering, is any one of these better than the other? Does this really help me lose weight? Like, what should I do? So it's really important to understand that while intermittent fasting does have some very good characteristics, there is nothing that shows that it's any better for you than a classic caloric deficit or managing your intake, right? Managing your energy intake versus your energy output. There's nothing to say that any of these is better than the other. It's just intermittent fasting is another technique. And just like anything else, that technique may work for some, and some people may freaking hate it, right? But the fact is, there's no evidence that it absolutely is going to cause weight loss or is any better. Now, here are the things that are 100% typically accurate for those who may be doing certain types of intermittent fasting. It is improved digestion. Why? Because we have increased the amount of time in between the meals, right? And so since we are not breaking the fast for either the 14, the 16, 20, or the 22 hours, it gives your body more time to digest and really kind of empty itself out. And it gives you a little bit more time to have more of that empty feeling. It can improve digestion for those who may be struggling. If you have inflammation, this is a way to identify where the inflammation may be coming from. It's giving a body a little bit more time. For some people, it may help them regulate blood sugar levels. So, caveat, someone who is pregnant, people who have diabetes, individuals who have certain kidney and liver disorders or diseases should not be trying to do intermittent fasting. So, I'm going to repeat: pregnant women, those who are medical diabetes, right? Means you are taking medicine, and many of you who actually just may have diabetes, whether it's type 1 or type 2. And then also anybody who has kidney issues or liver problems or kidney disease or decreased liver function, intermittent fasting is not for you. We are talking about individuals who have a normal everyday body function, that they are just trying to do things a little bit differently. All right. So just again, a lot of this comes down to personal preference, but there are some benefits, and I've just listed them. They're on the screen, but it's very important to understand that this is not the only way to improve health. It's not the only way to potentially lose weight. It is just another technique, but understand that intermittent fasting was not designed as a weight loss program. It is literally just a restricted eating window. And for a lot of people, it just helps them manage their food intake. Maybe they're a chronic snacker. So with this eating window, say the 16-8, it really helps them control how much time they're going to be eating, but also the what they're going to eat, because they have to concentrate on the main meals first. All right. So it's very important that you understand this was not designed as a weight loss tool. It is designed as just a restricted eating window, and it does help with managing some blood sugar levels, inflammation, and some digestion. Okay, so let's talk about now where I may see individuals really start to struggle and where it can go awry. And for those of you listening, some of you, I know you tried it and you like, ooh, that was me. I did it, and ooh, it was a fail. But let me tell you why. For a lot of people, even in the restricted eating window, let's say it's that 16:8, all of a sudden, not only did we just decrease the eating window, many of you have started to decrease the calories so low that you are struggling. You got headaches. You're like, ooh, let me just keep drinking this water. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Let me just keep drinking this water. My stomach is growling all over the place. You cannot concentrate. Many of you is disrupting your sleep, but you keep doing it because the desperation of, I just want to lose weight, right? You keep doing it, but it may not necessarily be for you. And then you have dropped those calories just so low. So remember what I said earlier? The point of this was never to be a weight loss tool. It's just restrict the eating window. So, what you still need to do is eat calorically the amount of calories you still need based on your goal. If you are somebody who's just trying to maintain weight and be healthy, that's a certain amount of food or amount of energy in. If you're trying to gain weight, if you're trying to lose weight, there's a certain amount of food that you still need to eat, and you shouldn't go kind of underneath that. But many of you are going so far underneath that that headache is pounding. You are starting not to be able to think as clearly. But you know what happens? Then the binge eating moment occurs because you are so hungry. Y'all think about that work meeting that you have to go to or the work lunch. It's 12 o'clock. Your eating window just started and you just met everybody at, it's Taco Tuesday. Lord, when you sit down at Taco Tuesday, guacamole and chips are calling your name. You probably are about to eat all the chips, all the guacamole, and your meal. But guess what just happened? Not only did you just eat all the calories that you need for that day, right at that one meal, you just ate more than you typically would have eaten. So oftentimes I'm seeing people on intermittent fasting who are starting to be deficient and gaining weight at the same time. They have a lot of health concerns going on, and then they're gaining weight because there's binge eating moments. Or the other binge eating moment is I'm going to restrict so hard on Monday through Friday, or maybe Monday through Thursday. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is all out free for all. There is no intermittent fasting that day. Or you'll still do it, and by 12 o'clock, that brunch is on. And then we've gone out to eat every single meal after that, right? And so you are all of a sudden, you're gaining weight, and you're like, wait a minute, I thought this intermittent fasting was supposed to help. But it didn't because of the way you're doing it, because you're trying to make it be a weight loss tool when you got to understand, again, it's just a restricted eating window. But you still have to develop consistency in behaviors and consistency in habits around food and developing a good relationship with food. Okay. The other part of where I see individuals really struggle is just what I said, is that number two, which is if you never had a consistent eating pattern before, that may not be the time to try to figure it out because now all of a sudden your food is restricted to a certain amount of time, but you never developed behaviors and habits. So now you're doing exactly what I said, the binge eating habits. I'm going to restrict super hard, Monday through Thursday. But man, Friday and Saturday and Sunday, y'all like, ooh, I deserve it. I did so good on Monday through Thursday. And what happens? Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is so off the rails that then you think, oh God, this didn't work for me. No, it's because you didn't do it correctly. That's why it didn't work for you. All right. So when you think about, is this something that you want to do? Remember, it is not a protocol designed as a weight loss tool. It's just a restricted eating window tool. It will work for some and not for others because some of you just do not like that span of time with no food. For some of you, it's going to help you improve your digestion and your snacking. But here are the things I want you to think about first. Number one, if you want to do intermittent fasting, remember that it is still associated with having a balanced eating routine. If that means breakfast, lunch, dinner for you and snacks, then we still need breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks because many of you can't make breakfast be larger or that meal one be any larger than it already is in order to fit it in a smaller window. But we still need to have balanced meals. We still need to have all macros or all food groups, proteins, carbohydrates, fats. We still need those and we need them in balance, not restricted food, just restricted time window. Okay. The next thing is try to get to a routine of having the same kind of meal one or start time or break the fast time every single day. It will allow your body to get very comfortable with understanding, oh, I know what you're doing. Okay. Okay. So we don't eat till about 11:30 every day. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. I'm with you, right? Your body is having a chance to respond and be with you like, okay, I got you. Okay, 11:30 it is. And we do that on the same time almost every day. And you keep consistency in the timing of the other meals as well. And you'll find that your body will respond better to you. All right. Then the last thing, please make sure that you are actually eating enough in those meals so you don't have the binge eating off the rails moment on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or that you don't start to create deficiencies because all of a sudden you may find that, oh, I'm losing all this weight. Oh my God, I feel so good. But is it the right weight? Are we losing muscle tone, muscle mass? Are we losing, bone? Are we having bone density issues or are we actually losing real body fat? Those are two very different things. So you want to make sure that you are eating appropriately for your body, your goals, your objectives in a balanced way. All right. So thank you, everybody. Hopefully this was helpful. If you are not already following me on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to my channel. But more importantly, find me on Instagram, Nutrition with Nitra. Also on Facebook, same. LinkedIn is my name. You see it there. But also join my private Facebook group called Nitra's Nutrition Corner. So I look forward to seeing you there. Talk to you soon.